Welcome to another episode of The Man Space. My co-host, Coach Gunley, and I take tremendous amount of pride and honor in having conversations with different gentlemen from different parts of the world, from different walks of life, so that we bring their stories and their experiences to the community, but from the perspective of the need to create safe places and spaces so that men can feel that they too are human and they can feel seen and heard. The overarching goal here is to create a society that is conscious of the fact that just like women, men are also human. That means as humans, we are feeling creatures who have the capacity to think and act. And holding space for that and providing tools for that, and both genders coming together to support that is key. Just as much as women empowerment is necessary to give women the opportunity to join the workforce and live their purpose, it is important to empower men so that they embrace their humanity and understand that feeling is normal, feeling is relevant, and feeling is who we are. And how do we manage it? How do we understand it, recognize it, modulate it to then build the life we were meant to be? So to have this conversation with us is Mayowa from Nigeria. Mayowa, welcome to the Man Space. We're so thrilled to have you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad to be here too. Dr. Pass and Dr. Lima.
So
All right.
as we get started, the question I have is, I know you love to bring a message of what a man's life should be and what is the best way to go about living it. So let's kick it off with, what do you do and how did you find your own space to be the person you were meant to be? And then we'll build on that as we go back and forth.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. Basically, um, so many years ago, I was opportune to be in a setting, and that setting was a failure setting. Okay, it was the fact that I had tried everything to be successful right from my young age, right from when I was in school. And then I kept on failing and failing and failing when I thought I was really doing well. And then I got into like the middle of some guys, and I had to go to school for 9 months. Again, I had to go to like a pre-degree, and that pre-degree was where failures go to. And then I had to, become something else for me to succeed and get out of there. And that was that incubation, that space was what turned me around, and I became somebody of value. I began to understand the true use of value in any man's life. Like, if you want to be successful, you have to be a man of value. And then I know I read and read and read. I read my eyes out. And then, by the time I came back from the PG, I didn't have to tell people I had changed. People had to tell me, yes, there was something new about you. And then fast forward to after university, I already knew what I wanted to do. Um, and then it was more of conversation and conversation and conversation, quality people, of course. And that was what, I found out that yes, I was born to be a male, but I must become a man. All right. And then, growing and growing and growing, started, networking with more people. They said for you to be, for you to know who somebody is, you need to look at his friends, you need to see what comes out of his mouth. And those are the things that have shaped me. My father, my mother, my friends. Those are the quality of people I talk to. Are the people that have shaped me into who I've become today. And those are the basics. It was just failures and failures and failures. What they've made me build resilience. They made me um understand the essence of life, and that's why I can appreciate look back and I appreciate the journey. Okay, towards
Mm.
me becoming the Mayowa of today, because I'm really small, for Mr. Kule to call me on this call. I really appreciate it again. But when I look back, somebody sent me something recently, and it was like 13 years ago. Was it 13 years ago or 11 years ago that I put something on Facebook? The internet never forget. I put that. I can remember. I put my bro. No day easy. It was like pigeon, right? I said, my bro, this place is not easy. That was. I know I was in the incubation state. I was 9 months in the pedigree. So I had to go back to another school, right? Because I failed YX. No, I failed YX and I failed JAM. Okay. So I remember that was when I typed that in on Facebook. And looking down the line, 11 years after, that was just day for yesterday, 25th. I can look back and say, wow, 11 years ago I typed this. And here I am today in a whole different new level, different state, more confidence, more grace. And that's it. That's what shaped me to becoming um, where I am today, Dr. K.
Wow. Wow, that was absolutely touching. I mean, you are being able to take us through your story, personal journey, and a lot of lessons to learn from that. And one of the things I picked right in your story is how you found purpose in failure. And we have a lot to learn from that as a society, as men, and even as women as well, how we can derive purpose from what supposedly should have been tagged failure in the society. And I really want to speak in that perspective for you to shed more light to a lot of people because I know you love talking about finding purpose or living a purposeful life. How did you find that purpose and how important is it for people to find purpose even in the midst of their downtimes or in the midst of failure? What do you think people should learn based on your story to live above failure or not see failure as the end of the road based on your own personal experience? Mayowa.
All right, thank you very much for that question. I really like that question. Okay, so some days ago I was with Dr. Miles Monroe, and he made me know one thing. From the very beginning, the good book says, the Lord God took the man and put the man in the Garden of Eden. Sorry, I have to say this. Yeah, I'm not sorry, but then I have to say this from the beginning. All right, so he put him in the garden, and then Eden to work, right? And he said he should cultivate, he should take care of it, and he should guard it, right? That's I think that's Genesis 2, you should say. Yeah. So one thing that shaped me is the fact that from the beginning rather, I have loved working. I like working a lot. You need to outwork others. I think there's this guy I used to listen to that says every day you need to wake up and run faster. The gazelle has to run faster than the slowest lion or something like that. And that's one thing that kept me above failure. It's fact that I like to work. Some days ago I was sitting with my dad and I said, what's one thing I learned from you? And he said, I'm not going to tell you. And I'm like, I know. One thing I learned from my father is work. He likes to work. He took me back as far as when he was young. He told me his dad used to tell him to go take the farm, and there's going to be a whole plot of land or acres, and he's going to start farming, farming, and the work will keep running away from him. That was what his dad told him that time. That the work will keep running away from him, and that's one thing. From the beginning, I've always loved God. I've always liked to work. When I say to work, I've always had vision. I've always wanted to become. All right. And then when it talks about cultivation, I always like to improve. One of those things that helped me is the fact I told you I read, right? I read quality books. I don't invest my money in trash, but I take my money to buy books, personal development books. And then I try to maximize my potential. And that is what people need to do more. More youth, more men, more women need to do more these days. Okay, you need to um maximize what God has given you. There's a talent in you, there's a gift in you. You need to sit down and think, what do I like doing? What's my best strength? Where are my weaknesses? And then you bring out the best, all right? And then there's another thing that men are supposed to do. They're supposed to guard, they're supposed to protect, all right? They're supposed to defend, they're supposed to be a covering. How can you be a covering when you don't even have a shield? It's not possible for you to be a covering when you don't even have a shield. And then you need to know how to teach, train. You need to help others. You need to guide others. How can you guide others when you've not guided your own self? They said a blind man is going to lead another person into the ditch if the other person is blind too, right? So these are the things. When I look through everything, has made me into who I am today, into that purpose-driven life. That always going after something is the fact that, I've learned these are the things that have helped me, work, cultivate, protect, teach. I can remember when I was in school, I was one of the tutorial leaders for those, what do you call it now, for those younger level. All right. I always took out time. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. I didn't really know what I was doing, but those people today can look back and say, because of you, there are one, two, three, four people that call me that call me up today and tell me, Mayowa, because of that tutorial you took us, Mayowa, because you took out time to teach me this and that and this, I am where I am today. So those are the things that shaped me into who I've become. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayowa. As I'm listening to you, I see how your reading and your thinking and your introspection is shaping the way you show up and the things you do. So you're talking about the thinking, you're talking about the doing. I want us to take a moment and dive deeper into the feeling. When you're thinking and you're being and living in your purpose and doing the things you're doing with intentionality, how are you dealing with your feelings? And how are you holding space for your feelings as a man? And where is your safe place and space? Because we can't forget that you're still a human with feelings.
Yeah, yes, you're right. You're right. And that's one of the things why I'm going to really appreciate what I call it best selling now. Mr. Kole Kolemo's new book. All right. So one of those things that helped me is the fact that from the very first, from the beginning, I always say very first, from the beginning, I've always had God help me. I've always had um, my mom, all right. I've always had confidence around me. So sometimes when I get weak, one of those things I do is I encourage myself, right? And then I read. I think those things I read help me get better at there's a way when somebody writes a book and then you're reading the book, it looks like the person is talking to you. So some of those declarations are those things that have kept my feelings together. You know, I, I think there's one mantra. There's one mantra I picked up recently. Um, don't ever appear weak before people. They're going to trample on you. Don't ever appear weak before people. They're going to trample on you. Yes, like I said, I have the feeling and I understand it. I was talking to a friend recently and he said, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to give love and receive love. It's okay to say you're tired, okay? But one thing you must not do while you're doing all the things is give up. One thing is you don't want to stay down for too long. There were times I ventured into a business recently. When I ventured into that business, I lost all the money. I mean, everything I had on me, I lost all the money. While I was still losing the money, I lost somebody very dear to me. I stayed in the room for like a week or two. I didn't go anywhere. I was just inside. But the only thing that kept me together is the fact that I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know what I need to do to get to where I'm going. Okay? And it's okay to be vulnerable, like I said. And there are people that I talk to when I feel down. There are people I talk to. But I think I've built so much resilience. God has helped me build so much resilience Sometimes I just sit down and tell myself, Mayowa, you're going to succeed. Mayowa, you shouldn't be doing this. Mayowa, you're going to be up and not down. Those declarations, those affirmations also have helped me, put my feelings together. Anytime, anytime I try to feel down, put myself together very fast, and I'm up there. So sometimes, like I said, Dr. Khan, sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I feel down. Sometimes there is nobody to talk to. Even my parents, I can't talk to them. Even my parents, I can't talk to them. Sometimes even your spouse, you can't talk to them. Sometimes you need to encourage yourself. Sometimes you need to put yourself together by yourself. Sometimes you need to reach out to confidence. There are people in my circle I discuss things with and they encourage you, they pray with you. And those things are what kept me going.
Wow, that's absolutely spot on, Mayowa, how you were able to say it as it pertains to you. And it's like a blend of a lot of things, both in intrinsic and extrinsic, how you were able to generate that motivation from within, and how you also do get some from other people around you, confident people you can run to, people you can walk up to and share your emotions. And these have been some of the things we keep promoting on this podcast, whereby we need a lot of men to be real with their vulnerability, to show up, not man up just as the society wants them to, and be free with their feelings, be free to show their feelings. And these are some of the things that you have shared with us. And we really appreciate that wealth of knowledge and of wisdom that you are sharing on the podcast today. If you will have one final word to give to our men out there, people who are going to watch the Man's Space, this special edition, what will be that word? What are you going to put as a final message to all the men who are watching right now? But just after that as well, we also need to know how people can get hold of you if they want to reach out to you. Mayowa.
All right, thank you very much. It's just two words. Become, to become. Then it's just three words. Become a man of value. All right? Become a man of value. Manifest yourself. Reveal yourself. Don't stay under that palm. Don't stay under that bushel. You are a light. You are a light. You are, in fact, you are the light of the world. So I think it's high time men, not just men, women, sit down by themselves, encourage themselves, talk to themselves, bring out the best in them, improve. And and these things are not going to be easy. It takes consistency, it takes discipline, it takes self-awareness. I know you're a preacher of self-awareness. Those are the things you need. Once you know you have a power in this area, go for it. Take action, execute. Don't waste time. There's an idea that comes into your head. You have to know how to move that idea from paper to reality. And I think, with God by your side, there is nothing, because everything you need to succeed is here. It's in your heart. Everything you need to succeed has been given to you. Nobody needs to add or subtract to it. And I also want to encourage everybody to come listen to this replay. Yeah, sometime come, follow up with what's the name of your YouTube what you call it? What's the name of your podcast again? Your podcast.
The Man's Space.
Yes, please. So the man space doesn't just mean the man. When they say the man, it means everybody. Homo sapiens, even Homo sapiens. All right. So that's what the man is. Okay, because he said, let's create man in our own image. Okay, so the man is the woman because the man is in you know, the man is in the center. So that's what I'm saying. So always come to the man space, pick one or two things, and you use it, apply, because it's not just what you know, it's what you apply, is what you bring to reality that makes people reward you. Thank you. To connect with me, I'm on Facebook as Aliu Mayowa. I'm on Instagram as Jesui Mayowa. It simply means I am Mayowa. Friends are my name. Jesui, JE.suis_MAYOWA. All right. I'm on LinkedIn too as Aliu Mayowa. Um, I'm the CEO of Insight Entrepreneurs Nigeria Limited. It's a resource-oriented company. I'm also one of the directors of Absolute Project Solution Nigeria company, an oil and gas company. Um, you can always catch me there. And thank you so much again. I don't take this for granted, Dr. Cass. Um, and Mr. Kunle, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. And I want to say one last thing to every youth out there. I'm not going to go without saying this because there is man, there is woman, and there are youth. All right. I believe in you. I believe you need to believe in yourself before anybody believes in you. And I believe in every youth looking at this or watching this. You can do it. You can make it, regardless of your community or wherever you're coming from or whatever situation you are now. You can get there. You can become. You can be the best thing that's ever happened to anybody. You go there and succeed. Thank you, Mr. Palermo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Pass. I believe I've been able to say one or two things. I believe I've been able to say one or two things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we really appreciate your time. I'm going to pass the mic to Dr. Cass to just wrap it up right now.
Thank you so much. And Mayowa, this has been an absolute delight. And when you smile and it lights up the whole room, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're communicating is truly resonating. And to our audience out there, you heard the message Mayowa just gave. Show up in your authenticity and live your purpose. And when you live your purpose, everything else will fall into place. And, mistakes are going to be made. That's human. But get back up and keep moving forward and learn from those around you and teach those around you. It's that teachable, learnable moments that keep us all moving forward. And with that wonderful nugget of wisdom, Mayo, take us all to a beautiful close.
Thank you, sir. Um, I, I think um, I think from the beginning, um, you have to understand yourself. You have to appreciate yourself because if you were not created, you can't think. If you're not created, you can't become. If you're not created, you can't manifest. All right. So I believe everybody should take time to appreciate God, you know, first, and always bring God into whatever you're doing because at the end of the day, there is there is a bigger thing out there. There is there's a creator out there. There is somebody bigger than who you think is than the president and the government that can come in when your strength is down. And some people call it the universe. Some people call it some energy. Well, the Christians call it God. The Muslims call it Allah. But I want everybody to at some point or the other just say the word God help me. And it will be so delighted to come in, pick you up, give you that extra push that you need to get to where you're going. That extra push. I found myself sometimes I'm packed up. Sometimes my confidence they don't know what to do. Sometimes the wisdom of men can't take you anywhere. It only takes the wisdom of God to give you that idea, to bring that idea into limelight, to call those sources, those help from the north, east, west, and south to help you when you're down, when your power and your strength can't take you further no more. when your wisdom can't take you further no more. And try not to be wise in your own eye, because there is a way that seemeth right unto a man. The end of it might be wrong. Okay, but God is never wrong. All
Thank
right.
you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you. Thank
Maya.
you.
And Kunle, go ahead and wrap this up. And this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, very, very. Thank you so much, Mayo. I would sincerely appreciate your time with us. It's been amazing. Like Dr. Cass said, you are really brightening up the room with your smile. And your nuggets and words of wisdoms are a lot to share with our people within our community. Thank you once again for showing up. And that is the end of today's edition of Demand Space. As usual, Dr. Cass and I will be back again with another guest. So all you need to do is keep that notification button on so that you can get notified when we have another post on YouTube. And if you are not following us already, you have to do that right away. Till then,
So,
stay blessed and be good.
bye.